It's been a while and I have no excuses. I really don't. I know that I originally stopped. I don't even remember why. I know there was something I wanted to watch. And then over time I just got flooded with more and more things I wanted to watch. Because the more I do this, the more I have time to watch stuff that I want to watch. And there is no, it's, it, whatever. I don't have a plan. That should probably be my catchphrase at this point. I don't have a plan yet. But I do want to. I'll post this up a bit in the background while I'm doing whatever, right? Actually, hold up. Before I do that, hold up. Let me check S in case Twitter real fast. What? Hold on. Whoa. What is that? What was that? Oh, S and K. Right. Right. AOT. So let me see if I can find it. It shouldn't be too far back in the archive. Where is it? Can't be that far back. Oh, nice. Okay, but no, I'm getting off track here. How hard is it to find a picture of Duck King? Are you serious? Is it not in the media tab? Boxing promo. 13 re-release. Seriously, where the fuck is this thing? Okay. Let me just post this then. What I'm looking for specifically is right before the announcement of Salvatore Ganacci for City of the Wolves, there was an announcement, a veiled announcement that was basically here it is, found it. Put that in a note tab, and I'll put this here. Not this one, the other one. Mute that. Okay, so where do I start with this? Put this here. And you know what? Actually, I'll use this instead. Yeah, if I gotta use this, I'll use this exhibition here as a background. Okay. Oh man. Alright. Where's my here it is. Okay, so. Is I muted? Good. So I my thoughts on guest characters are unknown at this point. I don't like them. I never did like them. Even if they are done well, even if they bring more eyes towards the series, I just dislike them out of principle, right? And this isn't just something like, oh yeah, I don't like Ronaldo and Ganacci. I mean, I don't, but it's not like, it's not just that. I, my dislike of guest actors is so fucking intense that to this day, I do not like Yoshimitsu being in Soul Calibur. Because before there was ever a Soul Blade, before there was Soul Calibur 1, Yoshimitsu had been in 3, maybe 4 games at that point. Because I'm trying to remember, because I don't remember if the arcade version of Soul Edge was before or after the arcade version of Tekken Tag. At least, definitely by the Dreamcast port, Tekken Tag Arcade had to have been out by that point, which is the version of the game that everybody remembers about Soul Calibur 1. So, if we're going by the Dreamcast version, right, Yoshimitsu would have been in 4 games at that point. So he is a Tekken guest character, and hate people saying that he's not just because they share the same series, right? It's the same thing with like Street Fighter having guest characters from Final Fight. They share the same universe. They're still different IPs. I don't mind cameos. Cameos are fine. With playable characters is where I draw the line. Even though I have said multiple times how upset I am of Street Fighter 6 that Kimberly is the Bushinryu character when goddammit it should have been Maki's turn. Even though Maki is a Final Fight character. I am nothing if not a hypocrite. But I also just don't like Kimberly as a character. I don't like her. I don't like her moveset. I don't like her outfit. Her personality, I don't quite like. Like, Kimberly feels like a character that was redesigned halfway into being implemented into the game. Because you pay attention to her general demeanor, her animations, she comes off more like a cheerleader, right? But none of that is referenced at all in her actual story or plot. It's weird. It made me think that her in-game animations were done first and the story stuff was done later, which is extremely likely. So I'm guessing she had a change in characterization in the middle of development. And those things tend to happen, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So Ronaldo, Ganachi. They look fun. I can still dislike them being there, but still acknowledge that they seem well designed. They seem like fun characters to play. But the thing that really gets me is it's not like SNK has never made pop culture references or even put celebrities in their games before. You just oh no, where I put it? Where is she? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. TFG, my beloved. Because I have to do a side by side comparison, right? Really? Is it not here? Should be here. Yeah, okay, it is here. Okay, there's that. New tab. And there's. Did I spell it right? I did. Alright. I need to find a good image. A really good image here. Oedo Edo. Should have done this beforehand. What's a really good one? I mean, that's good, but that's not what I'm looking for. What do you mean I found? Fuck. Where? That one's not loading. Okay, well, I'll upload this. Upload, why did I say that? Okay, that half works. Image. Imahe. Alright, that's fine. Alright. So there should be one. I guess there isn't. I'm looking for a very specific outfit. But I don't know where or how to look for it. Whatever, I'll go with this. Imahe. Imahe. Okay, so wait, I did do this, right? Okay. Off to a good start. All right. Pull this back up here. Okay. So this character on screen right here, this is Sylvie Paula Paula, right? She's a member of Nests, which is supposed to be defunct, but apparently it's not. She's a robot. Bracket. Maybe. Close bracket. I don't really know what her deal is. But she has to be someone. I'm assuming she's popular in Japan because she's based off of. Well, actually, no, because she was in SNK Heroines and she's in SNK 15, despite being a newcomer, which a lot of newcomers in 14 did not make their way back in 15. I think there was there are a few, which are basically the ones that stuck around were Shune and Mei Kun because they're the main characters. Luong because she's popular. Najd because popular. Bracket maybe close bracket. I don't know how popular Najd is, or I don't know if she was put there because of the prince. I don't know. Najd is fine, but she's like generic, cool, mysterious character, which means that she doesn't really have anything going on. She just has neat looking moves and also has Raiden's dropkick for some reason, but whatever. Not bad, just don't really know what her deal is. Anyway, so this is Sylvie Paula Paula, right? Obnoxious brat character. Very unorthodox moveset. But very fun, right? Very easy to annoy people with, right? But more importantly than her outfit or her mannerisms is look at this fucking outfit. Right? Look at this pop idol shit. Right? And now we switch gears to not that. This. This is Kyari Pamu Pamu. I don't know anything about Japanese pop idols or fashion, but Korea fashion. She has her own type of fashion. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So, Kyari Pamu Pamu, who is very obviously the inspiration behind Sylvie Paula Paula here, right? Exactly the same in all but name. And that's fine because that's generally how you want to do these things, right? My problem with Ganachi and Ronaldo, it's not that they're in the game. Part of it is that, but it's all you had to do was just change the name, right? Just change the name. And 85, yeah, 85%, 85% of the people bitching about those two guest characters in Sea of the Wolves would be gone in an instant if the names were changed. But again, they're guest characters. The entire point is using the name recognition to sell the character, right? So, man, I would just largely prefer it if they didn't do it, but who cares about what I think? Did you? And one of the things that really got me is, before the announcement of the Ganache trailer, there was this image right here, which is Duck King. Duck King, very specifically using this artwork from from Fatal Fury Special, right? The game. And this is what I mean, right? The Fatal Fury Special in Japan is one of the legendary fighting games, right? It's up there with ST and Alpha 2 and Third Strike. It is a very, very beloved game in Japan. So using very specifically Fatal Fury Special Duck King, right? Because Duck King, his outfit changes a lot. Well, not he's no Athena, but he does get redesigned quite a bit. He has a redesign in in Real Bout, which is used for later KOF games. He had a redesign of Wild Ambition, so his design changes a bit, right? Because I guess to better, and his design also changed from Fatal Fury 1. So using this very specific art of Duck King means something. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that what SNK is doing, and probably the Prince, but mostly what SNK is trying to do here is that SNK is trying to transplant a new audience into this old game. Fatal Fury, for all intents and purposes, is a boomer-ass fighting game. Okay? It hasn't had a new entry since Mark of the Wolves came out in 1999. Alright? We're was 25 years since a new entry in the series, right? And even when if you play City of the Wolves, it feels like an old game, right? It's fast. Defense is very strong. Offense is also very strong, but hard to do. Well, relatively hard to do at lower with how to explain this. Comboing things in City of the Wolves without bar is actually really hard. And you don't want to use up your bar because then you won't be able to use EX moves, which are the big new feature of City of the Wolves, right? But it feels very much like a sequel to what Mark of the Wolves was. And Mark of the Wolves, even for its time, was... Well, I don't know. It's hard to explain how Mark of the Wolves felt at the time. I didn't play it at the time, but it's like the reception of that game at the time it came out being compared to, Third Strike in a lot of cases. That's a story I can't quite tell, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what am I trying to say is that Fatal Fury, the series, Fatal Fury, is for people that have mortgages. All right? It is for the burnt out salaryman in the arcade to steal your money. Cigarette in one hand, briefcase in the other. Clowning your ass in this game that he's been playing for 30 years. That is who Fatal Fury is for. And so with these advertisements, right? The Sergio Choconnichi, like, he looks fun. He looks fun to play. He honestly fills the same spot as Duck King not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of aesthetic, as like goofy DJ, right? Which is exactly what Duck King is. Why'd I say DJ? No, you could have given this moveset. You could have given this man's entire moveset to Duck King. And people generally, people would complain because like people would complain because he has entirely different moveset, but like this is so in character for the goofy shit that Duck King does that it doesn't feel out of place. And so having this announcement, like, oh yeah, Duck King, one of my friends is coming to Southtown, right? So having this guy come in, doing shit like this, and being an associate, at least in universe, of Duck King is perfectly on brand. But again, it's a real guy. Like, all you had to do is change his name to like literally anything. Just you can call him like DJ Nachi, right? Everything about this would be exactly the same. Like, all this could be exactly the same. Just change his name to DJ Nachi, and no one would complain. Because, like, people be like, oh, hey, cool new character. And that's it, right? And I was watching this, I don't have a timestamp, so whatever. Oh yeah, that's Hokuto Maru, by the way. And I'm looking, and it's like, in gameplay, like, they look fine. They look fun. I just wish the names were changed. Like, just literally that one thing, but that's something else. Go back. That's something else. I gotta talk about that later. That's something else. Uh, Choconnichi. I guess I don't have it, huh? Whatever. Right. So this and what was it? Where's the boxing ad? There was the ad for the boxing exhibition. T-Zoc. I don't like that his name is T-Zoc. They should have changed it. They should have changed his name back to the Griffin for the Japanese version. Cause like T-Zoc is cool sounding, but the Griffin is a fucking wrestler name, you know? And of course, you know, Griffin mask, tiger mask, right? Which is what it's referencing. There's this, right? This, right? I'm not playing the music. And you get this. Right? These two guys. I know they're influencers. I don't know who the fuck they are. I think that, but you know, it's trying to. Hey, Splats. Let me see what you were saying. Check the first thing I see is how they're gonna. A lot of his things are taken from his performances. Yeah, that's how you make a moveset for characters like this, right? And that's fine. That's how you do it. If you're going to pay homage to a character, that's generally what you do. Is you take bits and pieces of things that they've done and just make a moveset out of it, right? Uh, Dragon Ball Fighters was an entire game about that specific thing. There were so many people going like, "Oh, this attack is from this specific frame from this panel, right? Or from the anime, right?" Well, the thing about King of Dinosaurs is that King of Dinosaurs is very specifically the heel persona of Chizak. And it's important to remember that KOF and Fatal Fury are different timelines. And sometimes they do reference each other, but they don't really connect, right? The one time they really did connect is some in some of the 2000 games when Terry would win a match, Rock Howard would cameo and do a winning pose with Terry, referencing, of course, Mark of the Wolves where Terry adopts Rock. But that's really like the only time there was a direct, uh, I forget the word I want to use, but you know what I mean. So the time skip has nothing to do with it. It also might not be that much of a time skip, but we don't know for sure compared to Mark. Like I don't because it can't take too much time after Mark of the Wolves because Mark of the Wolves ends with Rock going with Kane to find out what happened to his mom. So it's more so it might so it can't take place. So it's probably at best it'll probably take place like a couple of months after Mark of the Wolves, despite the game being 25 years apart. But you know that doesn't really matter in terms of fighting game continuity. Continue this fucking thing. But anyway, what I see from these ads is SNK trying to astroturf a new audience for a yeah, it's basically astro. I don't know who the fuck Astro Speed is. Maybe I don't know who the fuck that is. But again, like it's trying to astroturf a new audience of people that would otherwise not care about the game at all, because Fatal Fury is like 30 years old at this point, and this thing, the influencers, the Ronaldo, Ganachi. So it's clearly trying to do that, but I I don't think it's gonna work, right? Right? How long did it take for Street Fighter? Like, when did Street Fighter 4 come out? 2008? Yeah, like around 2008, right? And then Street Fighter 6 came out like what 2 years ago. How long did it? What the fuck? The fuck is this? Raiden. Billy. Whatever. Right. Whatever. Fatal Fury 1 at the top of it too. Anyway, let me. Whatever. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. What was I doing? Was that an egg? The fuck? What? Okay. Whatever. Ugh. Why you gotta do one more rock like that? Mix a boxing match. Michael Max is indeed forgotten. You have not earned the right to do a power wave, you fucking bitch. Okay, I'm ignoring all this. So, as I was saying, it took Street Fighter 4 was incredibly popular, right? It brought back fighting games in a major way. Despite my personal feelings of the game and its reputation and what it done to the development of fighting games afterwards, that's unimportant. And then after Street Fighter 4, I'd say around Super Street Fighter 4 and Arcadis, and after that is kind of when the popularity teetered off a little bit, or rather, yeah, I'd say it's stagnated a bit, right? Still beloved, still popular, but every update sold less and less than the last one because that's just how fighting games generally tend to be. Because like, oh, here's an update, but for people that don't care about fighting games, like you're making me pay for the same game again, right? So, oh shit, what was that? I'll have to clean that later. I don't look too bad. Okay. Oh yeah, it's advertising the boxing match that right. Anything to put eyes on the game, right? So Street Fighter 4 ended up at a pretty good point, right? It didn't end in the same place it started from, right? Because it's hard to top. Yo, we're bringing back Street Fighter for real this time. But I'd say Street Fighter 4 ended in a good place. And then Street Fighter 5 happened. Now there was a lot of shit that was happening behind the scenes about that led to Street Fighter 5 being what it was, but that doesn't matter, right? Street Fighter 5 was so bad that it made people not play Street Fighter, which is something I never thought I would see, right? Because even back in the 90s, right? Back in the 90s to early 2000s, right? When Capcom were taking their extended hiatus from making fighting games, people would still play Alpha 3, right? It didn't, people still played Alpha 3, people still played EX2, even though that wasn't available by Capcom, but that's not the point. You know, uh, Marvel 2 blew up. CVS2 did really good. I mean, blew up in a smaller scale, but there was always a Capcom fighting game in the rotation, right? In Japan never stopped playing VSAV. Fuck, man. So, uh, ST still gets played to this day. There was always Capcom games in rotation, right? Street Fighter 5 was so fucking bad that people stopped playing Street Fighter. And it's slowly SFI slowly built itself back up. But the fact that people stopped playing Street Fighter and played other fighting games is something I never thought I'd see. And it's because of that I will always say that Street Fighter 5 is the best fighting game ever made. To break the spell of Street Fighter is something I never thought I would witness. But getting hands right. Street Fighter 6 comes out. Actually, no. Street Fighter 5, throughout the course of the years, builds itself up into something very good and wins back a lot of the goodwill that was lost during the launch of Street Fighter 5. But for casuals, they didn't really notice that. They just saw, oh, Street Fighter Five, that game sucks. Why would I buy this game that did so poorly? Even though it would been like it had been like what 4 or 5 years at that point. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So a lot of people that were neck deep in fighting games, a lot of their perception was still based on that really terrible launch. So Street Fighter Six comes around, and it's like one of the best fighting games ever made. In spite of how people would feel about Drive Rush or fucking whatever, right? Street Fighter Six, at least in the home country of Japan, is like the interest in Street Fighter Six in Japan is around the same as Street Fighter Two. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Everybody's talking about it and playing it. And although a lot of that is localized in Japan, that's massive. Like, it's Street Fighter 2 all over again, over in Japan. So, all that to say is that from Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 6, the launch of 4 to the launch of 6 is like, I remember 09ers, so it's like, okay, 09. Even though like there were arcades in 08, let's say 09, because that's the home release of Street Fighter 4. So the Street Fighter 4 to when did 6 come out? Like 2 years ago? One and a half years ago? Hold up. When did where's my keyboard? Okay, so hold on. Okay, so 2023. So that's like what, 15, around 15 years? So it took about 15 years for Street Fighter to be seen in a good light by people that don't care, that people that are just casual observers of fighting games. And there's a bot that I need to kill. Hold up a second here. Oh, hold on. Okay. What was I talking about? Right. So it took around 15 years for complete fighting game casuals to feel good about Street Fighter, right? It had its ups and downs, but Street Fighter right now is as strong as it's ever been as a series, which is saying a lot considering what Street Fighter 2 accomplished. Fatal Fury, um, so Fatal Fury hasn't really done that. Not to say like, not to say like, okay. Although Fatal Fury has consistently more good games, I'm trying to think like, I mean, you could argue that Final Fight, Fatal Fury. I'm gonna fuck that up every time. You can kind of argue that Fatal Fury 3 is bad because that game is very clearly unfinished, but well, not clearly unfinished, but it is unfinished, and it has some weird things like whoever loses a round gets a damage boost in the next round. So got some weird things like that. Terry in that game has like what a very easy practical infinite. What's it like? Like 2A 2C crack shoot, something like that. No, 2B crack shoot, 2B crack something crack shoot, something crack shoot. Very very easy infinite, but getting ahead of myself, right? There was simply not enough to build up Fatal Fury, to build up a new Fatal Fury game, right? And you know, it's not through lack of trying, because you know, making a game, especially in the modern time, is very expensive, very time consuming. And even before the original announcement, that was just a piece of art that says final, that said furiously in development. There was at Evo Japan, I think it was. You know, there was always, you know, Terry, right? There was always Terry. Here's Terry in Fighting EX Layer. Here's Terry in Smash. Here's Terry in Street Fighter. And every single time, Terry was always very specifically branded as a Fatal Fury character. Not a KOF character, Fatal Fury. And that, for fighting game people, that does a lot to be like, oh, SNK remembers, or like, or maybe SNK's building up to something. Because normally, if you were to put, you know, Terry in a game, you'd be, oh, it's Terry, the King of Fighters character. Because KOF is so much more popular than Fatal Fury is. Right? So, you could argue that SNK was building up Terry as the Fatal Fury mascot. Fucking Terry as fucking Terry in the front and center of the Capcom fighting collection. Of the Capcom versus SNK collection, right? Having Ryu going up against Terry instead of Kyo, who was the actual rival of Ryu at that point. So, SNK is really trying to build up Terry. But I don't think that's enough to really. I don't think Terry can pull a new audience. People that know Terry love Terry, right? But you got the Smash, they're like, who the fuck? You have to remember, right? Damn near everybody in America was like, who the fuck is this guy? Making jokes about Terry being Pokemon trainer and shit, right? Which is funny, but you compare that to everybody in Mexico losing their goddamn fucking minds during that Terry announcement trailer, right? So Sakurai having an entire hour-long presentation describing who Terry is and his moveset and like how cool he is, right? Because that's just the era he's from, the era where he's from, right? Well, Splats, that's a KOF poll, not a Fatal Fury poll. Kyo and Iori are always going to be the top picks for KOF because those are the mascots of KOF. My being at number 2 makes. I didn't think she'd be number 2, honestly. I'm not surprised, but I wasn't expecting her to be that high. But yeah, that makes sense. It's fucking Mai Shiranui, right? Mai is like the more, you know, yeah, she's like the Morgan of SNK, except more people have played Fatal Fury than Darkstalkers, so it just be like that sometimes, right? Terry's popular and loved, but Terry was always a Fatal Fury character first, not a KOF character, right? I mean, fucking hell, he's always called his team is called the Fatal Fury team, so there's always uh no, no. Back even when the game, even when the KO games were annual, Terry and his crew were always called the Fatal Fury team because Fatal Fury games were still being actively developed at that time. Because like, oh hey, if you like this character, why don't you go check out Fatal Fury over there? You get to see where Terry and Mai and Ant, you can see where they're all from, right? KOF. The King of Fighters was always an advertisement for SNK's other games, right? People forget that. It was a good game in themselves, surely, but it was also advertising KOF's other games that were also being developed, right? The Fatal Fury team, the Art of Fighting team, Psycho Soldier team. I don't remember if Ikari Warriors was. I'm pretty sure Ikari Warrior sequels were also being developed at that time, but you know what I mean, right? Uh, KLF. Which one was it? 2006? 2000, you could make a fake Metal Slug team in 2006, right? Phil was in the game, in that fucking game. The Metal Slug, right? But as development gets longer and longer, and as SNK went bankrupt, I think twice, you can't really have like 3, 4 games in development all at the same time anymore. I'm a bit. Yeah. I did see the. Did you see the Evo showcase splats? They talked a bit more than they talked more about Save the Wolves than I was actually expecting. Like they brought back the line system actually, but as its own separate mode. So I'm happy about that. Sam Show was always popular though. It was never like at the. It was never at the height of like a KOF or a Fatal Fury. Well, I guess it did overtake Fatal Fury when Fatal Fury stopped making it. But like, Sam Show was always very popular and very beloved. It was always a consistently good good game. Except three. Sam Show 3 was the bad one. Although it looks fucking spectacular, so I don't care. That game looks so goddamn amazing. Okay, what was I talking about? Right. So, City of the Wolves, I feel like, is going to have quite possibly the most intense generational schism I've ever seen out of a fan base. Because you're either going to have people that have been playing Fatal Fury for 30 years, or you're going to have people that uh, recognize Terry from Smash. And those are the only two people. And I guess, you'll have some kids in Mexico being like, yo, fucking, uh, what's the soccer dude's name? Cristiano. You'll be like, oh shit, Cristiano Ronaldo's in the game. I have to go buy it. Like, those are the three types of people that are going to be playing this game. And due to how the game feels, because it feels old, in like, old bracket, complementary close bracket, right? It feels old in a way that, let me say, it feels restrictive in a way that fighting games aren't anymore. Right? You have to, and yes, you have the rev system. You have the EX and the rev system to make it easier. But generally speaking, you don't want to use your rev gauge unless you have to. Right? It's I'll explain it. You generally want to use your rev gauge when you're in top mode. Sorry, no, SPG mode, because you can use your SPG super that refreshes your bar, right? So it's for that very short, intense burst of momentum. Where, as opposed to Street Fighter, where you kind of want to occasionally throw out drive moves or do a drive cancel for pressure, but you always have to be mindful of how much bar. I mean, you just have to be mindful of your bar in. It's in a different kind of way, where you want to use your bar for short bursts of high damage, as opposed to SF6 where you want to use it for more. I mean, for damage, yeah, but you generally want to use it to secure a knockdown to start your Oki. Because Rev, yeah, your Rev meter goes down a lot faster than you. How to explain this? I would say that you use your Rev more in City of the Wolves than you use Drive in Street Fighter 6. Unless you're just like Noah and just don't give a fuck about burnout, right? Hmm. Right. So I as no, what am I saying? I was gonna say who is this for? That's not true. if you play State of the Wolves, it becomes very glaringly obvious who the game is for. It's for people that really like Mark of the Wolves, and according to the showcase, it's eventually going to become a game. It's going to be the ultimate Halo Fury game, which is something that I'm kind of on the fence about because, like, yeah, sure, it'd be nice to. They basically said that yeah, we're gonna be bringing back like almost the entire Fatal Fury roster, like all of the big winners of Fatal Fury are gonna be in this game, and it's like I'm appreciative of that, but it's not what I wanted, right? I wanted Save the Wolves to be the sequel that I wanted. I wanted it to be, and I know that like it was never going to happen because Street Fighter 3 did a. Let me phrase this. People like the roster of Street Fighter 3 now, but back when that game was new, everybody hated those characters. Everybody hated them. Because there was an expectation. Because there was an expectation of like, where I don't have to explain it. People, I don't have to explain it. Right? Everyone booted up Street Fighter 3 for the first time, and they're like, "Where are my fucking characters? Who the fuck is this? Who's Yun? Who's out? Who the fuck? Where's Zangief? Right? I want my character." And back in the day, you can afford to just upend your entire roster on an experimental new game because of making a game didn't take as much time or cost as much money. You could have experiments like that, and if it didn't do well, you can refine it, see if people like it more, or just can it, and it's not a big issue. Because how you make your money is from people buying the arcade machine. Home ports were a secondary matter, but like generally it was like, how much money is this game making in arcades? And yeah, you can use the brand recognition of Street Fighter to sell games, but after that initial hit, you have to start taking in feedback. And a lot of feedback is, where the fuck is my character? And then that's why, Street Fighter Second Impact and Third Strike added more and more classic characters, and even added, I said before, I don't really like guest characters, but Hugo was a really good idea. Because like, we're not gonna give you Zangief, but we're gonna give you someone that is equivalent to him, which is your big, slow, lumbering grappler man, right? And Hugo turned out to be a good choice. To be fair, Hugo was probably. I'm basing this off of nothing, by the way, but I feel like Hugo in Street Fighter 3 was carrying on the, I guess I could say, tradition at this point of just slowly putting in Final Fight characters in Street Fighter games, right? Because you had Guy in Alpha 1, and then Alpha 2 added like Sodom and Relento, right? Did Alpha 3 add anybody? Like from Fatal Fury? Oh yeah, Cody. Yeah, Alpha 3 had Cody, right? So, oh yeah. And then around that same time, oh yeah, here's Street Fighter 3, here's Hugo, right? And then Street Fighter 4 added Poison as a playable character eventually. I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Right? And Street Fighter 5, Lucian, Abigail, Street Fighter 6. We'll see. I mean, no. Street Fighter 6 does have Carlos Miyamoto. Carlos Miyamoto is in World Tour. Alyssa's in World Tour. Damned is in World Tour. But I meant like, a regular playable roster character. Yeah, archetypes. Yeah, but that creeps dangerously into that whole combo fiend thing of like characters are just functions. which they are, by the way. But people do get attached to characters, man. And to be fair, as much as I agree with what Combo Fiend said at that point, characters dysfunctions. So logically, I should have no reason to hate guest characters because it's just a function. But sometimes people get attached to certain characters, right? And to be fair, crossover games are the one specific subgenre of games you should not say that with, because the entire point of the crossover game is the roster, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself, right? Let's see how I can find this fucking thing. Let's see. So these characters on the bottom here, right? Uh, I don't even think that's a complaint. Freeman was not good. Freeman was quite bad, and he was unpopular. And I like Freeman. He was my main before I dropped him because he was so fucking bad. But I, if there was any character that I think is never actually gonna come back, it's gonna be Freeman. There's no way he's coming back. Jae Hoon's gonna come back because he's. So here's the thing: Jae Hoon is either going to come back or he's going to be replaced entirely by Kim Kaplan. Those are the two options that are going to happen. One or the other, because they can't both be in the same game because they have the same moveset. Because the entire point of Jae Hoon is that he is the Kim Kaplan function, whereas Dong Hwan is an alternate take. Anyway, so these bottom six characters, right? These proposed characters from Rocket Levels 2, none of them show up. And I and I and I don't think any of them are going to. Right? You have Kwan Kanta over here, who would become who she's basically the prototype of what would become Preacher, but they don't really have anything in common other than a Muay Thai girl. So, well, you can cross her off, right? This guy, Jess Young, probably related to Rick Stroud. Uh, Probably related to Lauren Kahak from Turn A Gundam, right? But if they're bringing back old characters, he's probably going to get replaced by probably Rick Stroud or I don't know, Axel Hawk or something. Was there one in the cocktail dress or something? Um, yes, but not a playable character. I know what you're talking about. It was one of the side hoes of this character here. I think his name's Dolvez or something. Um, and you got this martial arts guy who may or may not be this guy. This is Gato's dad, whose name I don't remember, but that's Gato's dad. He's gonna be a playable character. These two guys that are not Ripper and Hopper, so I don't know who the fuck they are. Let's see if I can find it. I don't see it. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this girl. I don't know what her deal is. She's just there. Like, I'm assuming these two are have they related somewhat. The skin, the hair, the fur, right? But the relationship between two, I don't know. Yeah, Fallen Angels. Yeah, still never re-released. Thanks a lot. Ah, shit. Thanks a lot, Exa. Thanks for fucking nothing. Not a lot to say. I I hope I truly do hope Fighting Angels gets re-released. But ain't too much to say about that other. Ain't too much to say about anything else. Oh, I thought I saw something. Anyway, all that. Let's talk about. Right. So I understand why none of these characters are going to be playable in City of the Wolves. Right. It would be fucking stupid. Right. You're given an opportunity to make a new entry in a game that hasn't seen one in like 25 years, and you're going to waste seven slots on these unfinished characters when you can instead pick seven when instead you could pick seven fan favorites that people will pay for. I get it. And I suppose changing the name to Save of the Wolves instead of Mark of the Wolves 2 has properly set expectations. Because this game, City of the Wolves, is not going to be Mark of the Wolves 2. As much as I want it to be, it's not. And I've made my peace with that, right? I've made my peace that I'm never going to see any of these characters playable. Maybe this guy, because this is just Gato's dad. And, that's a fitting character to put in. But, like, any of these guys? Like, who the fuck are any of these guys, right? So I get it, right? I do. But it doesn't make it hurt any less. Right? I don't even think they're going to be alternate outfits in this game. Like, yeah, you got Terry, right? But he's Terry. He gets dibs on that kind of thing. The rest of the characters, maybe a color. With the color edit mode, you can reference some of these characters, but that'll be as far as it goes. Tough guy. Oh yeah, tough guy. Well, tough guy. The tough guy re-release was a vanity project, right? That was at the behest of a guy that bought the rights to all of those old. I forget the name of the studio that made it. Or it was a guy that bought all those old Chinese DOS games and be like, "Yo, I want a new one of these because I think it's cool." And even then, Tough Guy was a side project because what he really wanted was a re-release of Sango Fighter, which he did get, by the way. And Tough Guy was just like its own thing off on was just another one. Like, oh yeah, you did Sango Fighter here. I'll give you some money, make me rate Tough Guy, right? But that the type of shit that I would do, honestly. Yo, can I get a can I get a release of Theater of Pain? Uh, Anyway, Hokuto Maru's in the game now. He's the final base roster character. Oh, which is upsetting to me personally. I was hoping, well, you know me. I was hoping that the entire base roster would be Mark of the Wolves plus whatever the fuck else, and don't even get that. Not only that, but for season one, none of the missing characters, Jae-hoon and Freeman, aren't even DLC for season one. What I'm at a loss. Okay, there. So get rid of all this shit. Wrong thing. Get rid of this. So hold up a minute. Well, Mai and Hokutomaru aren't anything alike. Hokutomaru, in terms of, hmm, in terms of gameplay, Hokutomaru is more like Andy than he is like Mai. But even then, much like all the other characters in Mark of the Wolves, Hokutomaru doesn't replace any of the characters that he's pulling from. Right? They all have their own quirks that make them stand out, even though they are paying homage to previous Fatal Fury characters, right? And that was one of the things that I really do like about how the new characters in Mark of the Wolves were designed. Like, yes, they're kind of taking the place of these classic characters, but they're doing their own thing that makes them unique. They're not just like it's not just the same character in a new skin, in a with a new name and a new skin, right? And I do appreciate that because it means you could have, I mean, well, like what State of the Wolves is doing right now. You can have Hokutomaru and Mai and Andy all in the same game, and they don't overlap so much in their movesets. But again, that should have been something that the game should have been building up towards, and not just out the gate swinging. Even though in terms of marketing, it's better to have DLC characters people will pay for up front. But I've already talked about it. It's who cares. All right. Let's see if it's actually since I'm still in TFG. Let's see if it showed up. Hmm. Atlanta trailer figures. No. Let's see if it was taken down. Hmm. Hmm. Doesn't seem to be here. Whatever. So, year three leaked for. The hell is this? Hold up. What's this? No. No, that's fake. Okay. Yeah. So, season pass 3 for Street Fighter 6 got leaked, and it's gonna be in no particular order. Alex, Viper, Sagat, and fucking Ingrid. So I guess Ingrid really is popular. So Ingrid is a very interesting case because Ingrid is one of those characters that is excessively hated in America, but beloved in Japan because she's basically Capcom's own version of Athena Asamiya, who is like quite possibly the most important character SNK ever made. So, Ingrid in and of itself, I don't really care much about. She's just Shoto. Another Shoto, right? But this could mean something, right? Let's see if I can find it. What's that? Nothing I care about. Okay, where is it? Where is it? That's not it. Where the fuck is it? Nakayama, where is it? Okay, I can't find it, so I'm just gonna talk about it instead. Nakayama. Oh, fuck, here it is. Well, not close enough. It's close enough to what I wanted to say. So, Ingrid, in and of itself, is whatever, right? But again, like Terry in my Street Fighter, like Luke in Street Fighter V as a final character, this might build up to something. And Takayama, the director of Street Fighter 6, Nakayama, has on occasion posted screenshots and videos of Capcom Fighting All Stars, a game that was never officially released. It had a location test and then it was wiped off the face of the fucking earth. So, there is a possibility that Ingrid is going to be used to familiarize people with the character, which will in turn familiarize people with Capcom Fighting Jam, which will then familiarize people with Capcom Fighting All Stars. And remember, Capcom Fighting All Stars originally started out as Capcom versus SNK 3. People forget that. Right? Kyo Kusanagi was going to be a guest character in Fighting All Stars because, well, SNK was dead. SNK was bankrupt, so they didn't have the rights to make CVS 3. But that was the original plan with CVS 3. Oh shit, SNK exploded. We can't do that. Well, we'll make our own game then. We'll make our own self crossover game. And to reference SNK 3, we'll get Kyo, right? Right? The big hero of KOF. Can't do that. Okay. Never mind then. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that the new characters for Capcom Fighting All Stars, let me see if I can find it. There's Akira there. Didi. Where's the other two? Let me see if I can find there's three of them. There's Didi, there's Ingrid, Didi, and Rook. Yeah, these three characters. Didi, Rook, who may or may not actually be Luke. We don't know because, Romanji and Ingrid. And if you ignore for a brief minute here that Rook here looks like Benimaru, let's ignore that for a moment. These designs do not look like Capcom designs, right? There is a very specific way of how Capcom characters at this time looked, especially in regards to fashion, right? These three look like King of Fighters characters, even though they're not. The way that they are dressed and the way that they're posed, it looks more like SNK, right? Because I cannot remember off the top of my head, and I feel bad about it, but these characters were designed by former SNK artists that got headhunted by Capcom after SNK went belly up. I forget who they are, and I feel bad about it because normally I'm on top of these things. But yes, no, these three characters, Ingrid, Rook, and Didi, these were designed by former SNK staff, and you can tell by looking at them. So it is my assumption that if this leak is correct, because apparently the person that leaked the Year 3 characters is also the same guy that leaked the Year 2 characters, which is how we knew about Terry and Mai, right? So if this is true, if Ingrid really is going to be in this game, I think Nakayama is playing the long game here, because Nakayama is a Capcom fan. He's also an SNK fan. Like he said straight up, his favorite fighting game of all time is Real Bout 2. So, he's got good taste. But, again, this might be like a 4-dimensional chess move by putting Ingrid in the game. Because even though Ingrid comes from this game, she technically debuted in Capcom Fighting Jam / Fighting Evolution, and she was also in Street Fighter Alpha 3 Mats for the PSP. So, her being what is essentially the face of this abortion of a game. Also, right, she's also cameos in Cross Tekken. Because the Pandora's box that everybody is fighting for is actually just a small bit of Ingrid's power that she just dropped in Antarctic to be like, hey, well, I wonder what would happen if I just left some of my godlike power off of this random part in the planet. I'm sure whatever happens would be fun to watch. Like, it's literally the entire plot of Cross Tekken is Ingrid dicking around and just seeing what happens, right? So, right, so Ingrid, being the face of this abortion of a game, might be Nakayama playing the long game here. Be like, if I put Ingrid here, people that know are going to... Actually, no, fuck all that. There's one or two places you can go. One of them is already set in stone, right? We already know that Capcom and SK are working together, right? We already know that SVC3 is on the horizon. Not SVC3. CVS3, not SVC2. I would like SVC2, but that ain't happening. Capcom versus SNK3 is definitely on the horizon. We already know that. It will very most likely... Because remember, Capcom versus SNK, those were Capcom developed games. So it's easy to think that CVS3 will be developed by Capcom. So, and to be fair, we don't know how long Street Fighter 6 is going to be supported. But, generally speaking, 3 years is a pretty good cutoff point. Maybe there'll be a year 4, right? Street Fighter 5 got a year 5 out of fucking nowhere because they were making sure that Street Fighter 6 would be the best game it ever could be. So, 3 or 4 years, that's like... That... Generally speaking, that's pretty, nearing the end of a game's lifespan. So, I would not be surprised at all if at the start of year 3 for Street Fighter 6 that they will also be working on Capcom versus SNK 3 in the background, while SNK focuses on making the ultimate Fatal Fury game. And I would say I think that would line up pretty well that Street Fighter 6 and Fatal Fury, Ultimo Fatal Fury would be ending support at around the same time. And then you get a CVS3 announcement. That's how I feel like this is going to go. However, what I'm hoping for, personally, is, goddammit, Nakayama, just release Capcom Fighting All-Stars. Like, just put it out for $15. People will buy it. I'll buy it. Fuck. Because it's a game that we never got to play. And, the location test was so bad that, the game was just removed. So, but it's an interesting bit of history. And, I don't think anyone would be against playing it. Because, let's be real here. There is no way Capcom Fighting All-Stars could be any worse than Capcom Fighting Jam. It can't. There's no way it could. So, maybe, hopefully, Nakayama will use Ingrid here as an excuse to just stealth drop Capcom Fighting All-Stars. Oh god, look at this. Oh, look at this fucking Shikiro art. Poison Ash. Ingrid. DD. I guess that's Rook. Looks like fucking Andy. Anyway. That was my autistic ramble for the day. Should play a game. Get rid of this stuff. Get rid of all this. Hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Let's see, there we go. Okay. Controller Doko. There we go. All right. Okay. Okay. Huh. Oh. Yes, you do that. Okay, I'll save that for later. All right. Okay, you know, I was looking up a game that I might have to buy very soon. Anyway, I just wanted an excuse to play Final Vendetta again. Yeah, there we go. So, Final Vendetta, beat 'em up game, not related to the Beat 'em Up Vendetta by Konami, released in 1991. Except maybe one of the characters, Duke, who looks, well, doesn't look, but it's vaguely similar to one of the characters whose name I don't remember in Vendetta, who's just a black guy that wears a red shirt. So, Final Vendetta is a game that I would describe as good, but does not have an identity of its own, right? Like most beat-em-ups that have been released in the last 20 years, it pulls a lot of influence from Final Fight 1 and Street Fighter 2. and this one is no different, to almost embarrassing. To the point that the only real identity that this game has is from its soundtrack, which, as you can hear right now, kicks fucking ass. Like, I would say this game is worth buying just for the soundtrack alone. Oh god, the fucking Ginzo Man art.
Get out of here!
Also, this game takes place in England, which, news to me.
Final Vendetta!
Normally I have the CRT shader on, but it looks like shit on stream, so we gon' get him. Alright, so okay, so I'll play with the main character. So, as you saw here, the game takes a little bit of influence from Final Fight 3. Ooh, there's a super meter. But unlike Final Fight 3, where you have a super move, in this game, the super move is basically just your Mega Crush, right? Your the get off. And if you have it with a full super bar, it doesn't take anything off. So, in that instance, it's more like this weird mix of Final Fight 3 and Streets of Rage 3, which is better than the amalgamation of Final Fight 1 and Streets of Rage 2 that every other modern beat 'em up just does. So, I guess there's that if you want identity, but I do wish that there would be a proper system. But, you know, whatever. Oh, hey, Kudo, how you doing? What's up? Actually, I have the potential to do the funniest thing here. Actually, instead of going for Clam Gun Pick Miller, for one very specific reason. This is Final Vendetta. Beat 'em up that I am quite fond of. God, music. So Miller is the only character in the game that can dash cancel this attack, which means you can just do this. Which is very funny, and it makes the final boss of this game a fucking joke. freeze! Also, every stage has a hidden one-up.
Let's go.
Clear the mobs up, please.
Who's next?
Ways of the underground!
Damn it. Get out of my face.
The underground! The ways of the underground! Rival Turf wants a life plus? I wouldn't be able to tell you. I haven't played Rival Turf in so fucking long. When is Rushing BX supposed to come out? Drop the mix.
The element of surprise! 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 Surprise!
E. Because I died. If you lose a life, you get an E. The game wants you to perfect it. Once you get good at it, but you're gonna get good at it on your own terms.
Damn it!
I forgot about that.
This payback is long overdue. You're finished. You're You're I love this!
6 stages, but yes. The game is short. You can beat it in a half hour. But it feels, you know, in spite of what my gameplay is showing you, the game feels really good to play. Gameplay's good, music good. Designs are a bit, generic. But like, I would say, like, my only real flaws, the only real flaws I have with the game are aesthetic things. Like, I don't like how many frames of animation every attack does, because it makes attacks feel weightless, like they don't have really any real impact. Especially because, as you can see, or as you might be able to pick up, the sprites are stylized like a KOF game, right? You might be able to tell by the proportions and the shading, but it looks like a KOF game, which makes sense because this game was built for the Neo Geo, actually. It was built to run on a Neo Geo. And I think that the Bitmap Bureau actually do have a working version of this game on the Neo Geo MVS. Yeah, exactly. You know what you're getting at. And again, what's real funny is that this game and TMNT Shredder's Revenge came out, like, I think they came out on the same day. So it's like you get one beat 'em up for the hardcore fans, you get one beat 'em up for the people that just want to stomp phase, basically. a hardcore one and a softcore one. And you know, I bought both and I like both, but again, I like them for different reasons. Like just a little something you can just knock out in a half hour. You know, yeah, a comic zone, right? Shredder's Revenge is good. The bosses are, I don't know if they changed the bosses, but the bosses were really fucking annoying in that game because they just have permanent hyper armor, which is really lame in the beat 'em up game because it just means that the boss doesn't care about anything you're doing. I don't know if that was changed. I'll have to play it again to find out because I haven't played the game since it came out, basically. But I do remember enjoying it a lot. Playing it. We don't get him. I just want to see if I can do it quick. Yeah, the fireballs suck, but like, fireballs aren't the problem. The problem is when Clive spawns. Yeah, this is when the problems start happening. Find the distance of the weight as far as okay, mid screen. Tiny Bell's gonna.
Final Vendetta! Final Vendetta! This goes!
Interesting. Another insignificant specimen to destroy. Surprise!
Spine Breaker! To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Knock him down. Knock him down. Knock him down! Knock him down! Knock him Final Vendetta! Final Vendetta!
I'm just about to begin.
Final Vendetta!
I'm just about
Yeah, the change. Just to show her.
Get out of here!
Give me your best shot. Come on now.
Get out of here!
I expected that you're going. FlaVR. Welcome to the little corner of the internet where I like finding decent games. But sometimes not, but that's one other time.
miracle. Surprise! 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 Surprise!
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot I was streaming instead of just playing it normally. So I used to this. So, man, but might as well get a quick one on what's going on here. Okay. So, main character, girl Clay. As you can see, she has a very easy and practical infinite if you do her ability. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of setup to make sure that you don't get caught, that you don't get flanked while you're doing it. She's also decently fast, so she's kind of good if you just play consistent. It just takes a bit of time. I guess a jump or a running special here, right? She can go into. I guess only on two. Not it. Attack is only which is why I say me. And if it hits, go for the hit kick. I don't think I can enough of the crush again. And if I'm a first life loss, it's really good. Z-axis, chandeliers.
Uppercut!
Let's get this over with.
I think I'm about to avoid the second hit from the run. Again, this ain't too bad. I normally do a lot worse than that, especially since I don't really play that much.
Final Vendetta!
You know what? I'll do it once while we're running. I'll be good at that point. Like it, like. I forgot you could do that. Not bad.
Final Vendetta!
Yeah, you know what? That's it for now. Stop at the top. Sorry, I have to stop.
We gonna get him.
Okay, seriously, I gotta stop for now. I will play this again at some point because I do like it a lot. Hopefully, I'll be able to once see on Ultra Mode, but that'll be sometime.
I drop bombs, yeah, so atomically.
One, two, three, and okay, seriously. It's been fun. I'll actually one day remember that I actually have to talk during the stream, but today ain't gonna be that day. So, I'm heading now. I have to, since I seem to be adjusting to my new living condition, I might have to bring back E3, but I'll have to get back home and dig out my old my portable drive because I didn't bring it with me. So at some point during the week, I'll have to go back home, get some more things, and then I could bring back E3. But until then, well, I don't really know what until then. Until the next summer stream, I promise it's not gonna be a fucking 2 weeks, right? I got a little bit busy, and I got a little bit in my own head, but I'm returning to streaming for now, and I want to make an effort that it's more consistent this time. But until next time, I'm out. I still haven't come up with an outro, but like I said, that's for another time. Ain't it gonna be today, but it'll be sometime. I'll see you all later.